So from our last lesson, we talked about dilations with the center at the origin. Today we're going to talk about what happens when the center is not the origin. So again, scale factor is the new divided by the original, whether it's a length or the coordinate. That's our formula for scale factor. So in this case, if the center of dilation is at 0, 0, we multiply the distance, right, or the scale factor times the coordinate. So if the scale factor is 2, you multiply that. Okay. Now here's a different way to think of it. In the previous lesson, we said that the origin to the original shape, okay, we could draw lines through them. Okay, and that's where the dilation will occur. So if in this case we don't have the primes given, so we don't know what the original and what the new is, but we can figure out what the distance is. So we talked earlier about using slope to figure out scale factors. So if I wanted to find this would be 1 up and 1 over. Well, the corresponding point would be here, which would be 2 up and 2 over. And so we know the scale factor would either be 2 or the scale factor would be 1/2, depending on what the original was. Okay, so we can do this point as well. This would be 1 up and 3 right. This would be 2 up and 6 right. And so that would be a scale factor of 1/2 or 2, depending on if we're getting bigger or smaller with reductions or enlargements. Okay, so let's take a look at another example. Find the image of triangle ABC after dilation centered at A. So the center doesn't move, right? The center doesn't move. So what we want to do is draw a line and extend out from that center point all the way out. Now the scale factor is 3, so what that means is that this length of AC, which they don't tell us, right? This length AC and this length AB, we're gonna need 3 of them to do it. So in this case, here's AB, and if I were to copy it 3 times, this is where the point would be for a scale factor of 3. For AC, we would do that 3 times as well. And then the last thing we do is where those are, we connect it. Now, to be accurate, we could use a ruler, but we could use our finger ruler just by estimating using the fingers, which is still good enough. Okay, so this would be the original shape. This would be the triangle scale factor of 3 centered at A. Now we're gonna see this where the center is gonna be at one point of the shape. And if that occurs, that's the point that doesn't move. So from there, we draw lines from that center point. All right, let's take a look here. So we want this triangle A, scale factor of 1/2 centered at B. So again, the center point doesn't move, and so we draw lines out from that point, okay? So now we measure BA, and then what we want to do is take about half of that. So you can use a ruler, you can use on your paper, it's going to be more manageable with your hand, and you can approximate what that would end up being. For BC, we want to do the same thing. Here's BC, we want to take half of it, and then from there we connect the 2 endpoints, and that would give us a scale factor of 1/2. Okay, again, the center point, which in this case is B, doesn't move, it stays there. All right, here's an example where we have 3 points graphed, scale factor of 2, and we're centering at P. So here's what we're going to end up doing. From P to Q, we go up 2 and right 2. So just like the first example we did, if we're scale factoring of 2, that means the image would be up 4 and right 4. Okay, so if we go up 4, right 4, that is going to be Q prime. For R, it's down 2 and over 3. So if we multiply it by 2, that means we go down 4 and over 6. Okay, and remember, because it's centered at P, we can draw lines out. And we end up seeing that that is the same case here. Okay. All right, here's another example where we're going to center at R. So it's the same triangle, but we're going to have a different center. Okay, so the center doesn't move. So what we can do is extend these lines out and then use the slope concept to figure out the scale factor. So from R to P, we go up 2 and left 1, 2, 3. So that means if we go up 2 and left 1, 2, 3 again, that would be our P prime. So here we go up 1, 2, 3, 4 and over 1, 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1 again. And that would be the result. So we would draw that line and then draw those lines there. And so that would be the image scale factored at 2. So again, to summarize, the center coordinate stays where it is. Then we can use slope and multiply the slope idea to get the various coordinates. And then to check it, we can also use the straight line idea to make sure that your image points are where they need to be.